Now, your Alaska Link weather for Fairbanks and the interior.
Well, as mentioned earlier, we've been definitely seeing our rounds of some wetting rains, but we've still had definitely some strong periods of some warm sunshine where we see a above normal number both for temperature and precipitation. So it's definitely been this continuous fight of that strong summer sunshine, but Mother Nature still bringing some of those wetting rains, trying to bring some of that relief to those soil conditions and help with some of that fire weather concern. And we're still monitoring some of this flip-flop, but there's not as big of a warm push that we have had, and even could quickly move back into some wetting rains before we get any big warming. But still here for the next 24-48 hours, we're still noting a generally fair forecast where we'll see more breaks of some sunshine and still be with some warm seasonable temperatures. But we'll start to move into some chances for some rumbles of thunder, and that will increase into the weekend. So the coverage of that will need to be monitored very closely when it comes down to sparking new wildfires with that lightning threat. But then there is that potential where we are monitoring some rounds of wetting rains to come next week, and that arrival could be even as early as Tuesday. Before our Thursday here, we're looking at some partly cloudy skies. So a sunshine, a break out of that cloud cover is looking likely at points with a seasonable high there into those lower 70s. Light and variable winds as well, but we are noting that the environment is including some of this spot where we see that green on that forecast that knows that there's some type of moisture within the environment, especially there even seen over those higher elevation points of the White Mountains at points that can show that potential of some afternoon rumbles around. So we'll monitor the coverage. It is very minimal here as we continue to move towards Friday and even Saturday, but then the uptick will come over the weekend. So we'll continue to fine tune of those pockets that we need to keep an eye on. And then we also see that not only do we see that reflectivity on that forecast, but we can even see forecast tries to show that we're seeing something here. We see that contour of those highlighted green areas, even numbers on the board trying to show, hey, something may develop here. Will we walk away with this rainfall? It's looking minimal there, but our biggest concern when it comes down to thunderstorms is that lightning threat. 19 hours and 15 minutes of daylight. 4:01 is at sunrise, 11:52. We're looking at a temperature-wise through much of the interior, very seasonable. So although we are warm with some sunshine, again, it is not that drastic heat that we've seen at times build after these wetting rains. There are still some pockets at times where we could reach those mid to even upper 70s, but that warmth can create also that feed into convectivity to create more of those thunderstorms. So that will have to be a factor to watch. But at least the low to mid 70s with this isolated shower and thunderstorm activity is going to hold through the weekend. And then as we get our way closer to that Tuesday forecast, that's where we turn to more of that cloudiness, the showers, and even the potential for some cooling.